Are being kidnapped. The people of Central Uganda and Uganda are being murdered under this brutal regime of Museveni. When we talk about Uganda, most of us we know one brutal dictator by the name of Museveni. The reason being, he has been in power for over 40 years. He's the only brutal dictator in Africa, the longest serving brutal dictator of Uganda by the name of Museveni. And that's why, as a Ugandan community, today we are standing in front of the torture chamber, the so-called Uganda House, to represent the 47 suffering million Ugandans who cannot stand in any of the streets in Uganda to demonstrate in demanding their freedom and their respect of human rights. Under this brutal regime, we are calling on the UK government to stop the funding and the training of the militias from Uganda. Your taxpayers' money is being used in training murderers. Your taxpayers' money is being used in building the so-called safe houses, what we'll call in English death torture chambers. It's only in Uganda where they build more prisons than hospitals. It's only in Uganda where they build prisons than schools. It's only in Uganda the brutal dictator has heavily invested in military patrol cars than ambulances. We know very well that wherever they fall sick, they seek medical tourism in the UK and Europe. And we are calling on the government and the UK government to stop sending your taxpayers' money to Uganda, because that money is not being used, is not going to the good causes. It's being used to suppress democracy and human rights in Uganda. In the UK, we've changed over 13 prime ministers, and in Uganda, we are still living under the same brutal dictator, Museveni of Uganda. We are calling on the international community to stand together with the suffering 47 million Ugandans in condemning the brutal dictator Museveni of Uganda and his brutalities. We hope that the people of the world, that the people who believe in God and the good people, they will stand with the Ugandans in removing Museveni, the cancer for Africa. As we stand here, Museveni is in DRC Congo, looting, robbing, stealing the mineral resources of DRC Congo. When you talk about M23, you are talking about Museveni. Museveni and Kagame equals to M23.
Yes.
Museveni and Kagame equals to M23, I repeat.
Yes.
These are the brutal murderers in DRC Congo who are fighting in Congo as we stand here. They are not fighting for democracy. They are fighting to rob and steal the mineral resources of DRC Congo. M23 is being armed by Uganda. M23 is being supported by the two brutal dictators of Uganda, Museveni, and of Rwanda, Kagame. These murderers, they've murdered over 3.5 million Africans in both countries, Uganda and Congo. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
NUP.
We are asking the international community to send the brutal dictator Museveni to the International Criminal Court.
Yes.
At least let him face justice. Otherwise, for Ugandans, we want Museveni to be hanged on a Friday like today in the gallows.
Yeah.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
NUP.
The reason why Museveni should be hanged, this is a man who has committed crimes against humanity in Uganda.
Yes.
Not only in Uganda, but in Southern Sudan, DRC Congo. When you hear the genocide in Rwanda, Museveni is the man who supported, who armed the rebels, who went to kill on 1.5 Rwandese. And that's why we are calling on, if ever Museveni is arrested, he should die like Gaddafi.
Yes.
At least, if he ever been arrested, let him rot in jail. We are calling on again that will never stop demanding the accountability of our fellow comrades, of our fellow Ugandans who are in prison for a simple reason, standing against the brutal dictator of Uganda, Museveni. Yes. We are talking about a lethal, brutal dictator, Museveni of Uganda. The man who has used arms to silence Ugandans. A man who has used force to sit on millions of Ugandans. A man who has used force to silence democracy and the respect of human rights in Uganda. We'll stand with the suffering Ugandans. We'll stand as long as it goes on in order to expose the brutalities under this brutal dictator, Museveni of Uganda. We are calling on the UK to impose more sanctions against this brutal dictator, Museveni of Uganda.
Yes.
We are calling on the UK government to stop the funding, because we know that the money going to Uganda, that's taxpayers' money being pumped in Uganda with no accountability at all. That money should stay in our country here to help our policemen and to rehouse our brothers and sisters who are on the streets in the UK streets, who have got nowhere to live.
Yes.
That money should be used to rehouse them during the winter season we are facing right now. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
NUP.
Bagalanyo. So it's Thomas now. He came in late, so he owes us lunch. He's going to buy lunch for us.
I can't say happy Valentine.
No
way. Can I say happy Valentine?
No
In
way.
Uganda, where I come from,
Yeah.
we have no Valentine. They don't love us. The leader, the ruler, does not want Ugandans to
Be
live.
happy.
And I'll start with the small domestics.
Yeah.
We have to remember the dead. The current ruler has killed Ugandans for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
As I talk here, we need to at least 5 seconds to remember our dead, our people in prison,
Yeah.
those who are nursing wounds,
Yeah.
those still jailed in prison,
Yeah.
those who have gone missing and we see no chance of seeing them again for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
He is killed everything. So for about 5 seconds, I'll pause and keep quiet while we remember the dead, those tortured, those still in the torture chamber, those who have gone missing, and a lot of them in prison. We still have over 100 prisoners all from my party, which is the National Unity Platform. And this party is one of the biggest parties, yet we are being oppressed. The ruler in Uganda has been in power for 40 years. UK has changed leadership, prime ministers 12 times. United States is changing another one, Mr. Tariffs. I think you call him Trump. He's the 12th president being changed. Uganda will still have one. Mr. Tariff will go and we're in the torture chamber. The people who have been gone missing, the junta in Uganda. What you see behind me here is called an embassy. Should have been an embassy of Uganda, but it's a crime scene. It facilitates our murder.
Yes.
It makes sure the embezzlement of funds from Uganda go through Lord Puppet in the parliament via this embassy. Lord Puppet is of Asian background. Somebody sitting in this embassy is of the same background. And these are the people who have done a syndicate. Uganda is mineral wealth. Uganda was the third coffee biggest country. Now we are the 10th. Uganda had cotton. Uganda had tea. Uganda had tobacco. Now it's Z. When he came into power, Uganda, just like any African country, the leadership there, the junta there, diminished everything. What we have left, it's the only country on record that doesn't have factories, doesn't have industries. What we have today